Assalamu alaikum, good evening and welcome to No Nonsense with me, Zakir Khan. Um, this is our first show, first of many, inshallah. And I'm very excited because I've actually taken a break from media and live shows. So this is my first show, my first comeback. And, and I think it's a great opportunity, a great platform for me to come back to, and especially with tonight's topic. First of all, no nonsense. Yeah, this is what we're calling the show because we don't want to know any nonsense from anyone. We want to hear facts. We want to hear what the community wants to hear. So let's make this clear first. This show, any question that we ask is not from us. The question we'll be asking you is directly from the community. I'm here to moderate. That's all I'm doing. I'm here to present. Yeah, I have no views. I have no opinions. Even if I do, I'm not sharing them. Because we want to hear from you, the guest, and we want to hear from our viewers. Now, like I said, the show is designed we've created a platform where people from the community, whether they're community activists, political activists, general public, whoever they are, a great opportunity for them to raise their voice, their concerns, their expectations on local issues, whether it's politics, whether it's business, whether it's sport, whatever it is. Yeah, this is what we're here to do: is to give people an opportunity to share their views, their expectations with us. Now, and so, as well as our guests, live guests, those people who are joining us online, again, we are requesting you, if you're joining us online today, you cannot have nicknames. You have to give your name, who you are, where you're calling from, and most importantly, we need to see who you are. Please, yeah? I don't see no reason why you can't show your face, yeah? We need to show your face. If you don't turn your camera on, we're not going to have you on. Simple as that. Okay? So please, if you want to join, make sure your camera is on and your name is on the screen as well, so we know who we're speaking to. Okay, so like I said, this is the first show of many, and if I can use maybe, as you brothers know, my background is mostly sports. So if I could use a sports analogy with this show, I would say this is a warm-up. Okay. Yeah? It's a warm-up session. Slight jogging, stretching, before we go into the big game. Yeah? Okay. So this is the warm-up show, inshallah. Okay, so without further ado, let us start our discussion. So again, welcome to everyone who've joined us. The show today is called Battle. What do we call it, Mabu?
Why do you call it a battle?
No. What's the show? I'm just testing you.
Why are you testing me? It's your show. It's your show, and I expect you to tell me what the show is. I'm just a guest.
Homework or Sony?
Well, you'll see in a bit, inshallah.
Okay.
You'll see if I've done my homework or not.
So today's show is the battle for Bethnal Green and Stepney. Okay, that's the name of the show. Who will triumph? Who will win? This is the question we want to ask. But we're saying, let the community decide. Not you, not me, not anyone else. Let the community decide. You are part of this community, absolutely. Okay, so let me introduce my guest first, and then we can go into a slow discussion. Okay, first of all, I'll start from my immediate right. Abdul Shukur Khalil Sardar, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
I think I can shake your hand because you're closest to me, yeah? Please, no offense, yeah? The closest, we'll do this.
You can delegate. I'm happy to do it for you.
Those who do know, Abdul Shukur is a community activist, and recently he's founded the Timeless Community Coalition, an organization that's been recently set up. We'll come to that later on. Next to Abdul Shukur, we have a very well-known, popular face, none other than Muhammad Khalid Noor, who's a lawyer and a political activist and a former councillor, I believe. Yes. So, Assalamu alaikum, Khalid bhai.
Wa alaikum salam, Zakir bhai. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming. And our final guest is, again, a very handsome, good-looking young man from our community. Mashallah, involved in community for many, many years, as well as politics. Ms. Nona Anadan, Mahbub Alam. Assalamu alaikum, Mahbub.
Wa alaikum salam, Zakir Bhai, and thank you for your kind words.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, again, let me make it clear to everyone who's watching this show today, who are joining us today, that these brothers here tonight are here on a personal capacity. Okay, they're not here to represent any political groups or political organizations. They're here to talk about the community and why they think this 4th of July election is important for us, and why they think that there should be a change. This is what we're discussing. We're not making any personal comments about any candidates. We're not talking personally about any candidates. We're talking in general, please. Okay. Okay, so let's begin. So let's start. First of all, my first question to everyone is 2010 election. Everyone remembers, yeah?
Yeah.
2010 election was very exciting. Why was it exciting? Because it was an opportunity to make history for the first British Bangladeshi elected MP. That was the excitement.
Mayoral candidate.
No, 2010 general election. Yep, that was the excitement. The first ever British Bangladeshi elected member of parliament. Now we're in 2024, 14 years later. 14 years later, now please tell me, what is the excitement this time? What is the excitement this time? Let me start with you, Shukur. What's the excitement this time?
Well, I think if the title of this show is No Nonsense, then I would try to address the question differently.
Yeah.
I don't think there's excitement. 14 years on, I think we are in a state of absolute misery, chaos, and it almost feels like there's a breakdown of politics. Democracy has almost failed us. So excitement isn't the right word in my view. And the consequences of the things that I've just mentioned, we are living through a genocide, something that none of us could have ever imagined in our lifetime. I grew up at a time when we saw the breakdown of when the Berlin Wall was being pulled down. That was a significant moment in our lives because we thought freedom of human rights and a new kind of rules-based system would be introduced globally, with the view to enable people to live lives of dignity, prosperity, a place where we can all celebrate diversity, but also celebrate prosperity collectively.
We do. We already celebrate diversity in this country.
No, my understand what I mean by diversity is, and it's important for me to define this, I'm talking about primarily race, religion, on those grounds, where people come from, what religion or faith they practice. We can see one rule for those of us that are on this side of the hemisphere. And unfortunately, it's not quite the same for everybody else on the other side of the hemisphere. One rule for us, one rule for them. What I say goes: economic might, military superiority, it feels is the
Should we come back to my question? 4th of July.
So I'm not excited about 4th of July in the sense that it's very exciting. It's not exciting. I think for me, 4th of July is a decisive moment in our history.
Thank you. Stop there. Halabai, is it exciting for you or is it decisive?
Well, I would say that...
Thank you very much for your question. The first things, I don't think this is excitement. There is some sort of disillusionment in terms of the mainstream politics going on, not only just locally, it's all over the countries. It's mainly happened since what is happening in miles, hundreds of miles or thousands of miles away on the Middle East, in terms of after the Gaza war started on.
We're coming to that. Let's not go in too deep now. Just answer my question.
Okay,
4th of July. Are you looking forward to the 4th of July election?
I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward. It's very important for community to decide, because there is a deep set of anger, frustrations, and also disappointment about the mainstream political parties. Our community member, not only just the Muslim community, I'm talking about the whole communities, okay? Those are people of fairness, justice, human rights, equality. They feel that our politicians failed us. There's something new should be happening, or some sort of grassroots movement should be starting. And this is the momentum has started all over the country. There is a lots of independent candidates putting forward themselves in all over the countries. And this is probably the main thing when I talk about Stephanie and Bethnal and Stephanie. This is the new constituency, obviously. New constituency boundary has been changed from Sethnang Bo to now Bethnal and Stephanie. It was initially, it was like this from 1983 to 1997. It was like this. Peter Shaw was the MP at that time, until whole this time. Since this constituency was being to like against Bethnal Bo, Una King was the first MP elected in 1997. Then she also elected in 2001 as well.
You're not answering my question. No, 4th of July. Why are you looking forward to 4th of July?
My answer to the question to you that I think so the community feel that something needs to be done, but the people feel that something that Dao is politics heading at the moment. Lots of independent candidates putting themselves forward. It is also dividing the opinions, dividing community dissolve as well. People doesn't really understand then which way they have to go, because if we put so many independent candidates in a constituency, while the sizable Muslim communities, the BME communities, on the established MP as well, who is now has been elected for 4th time with a sizable majority of nearly 37,000. You need to think about that, what is realistic at the moment, what community should and can do, and then whether it is realistic to put together so many candidates, and then community decide. He said, community has to decide whoever the best.
Stop there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because you're going too far into, into the program. We just started. I just wanted to warm up, just a warm up. Yeah. Mahbub, excitement. I say, are you looking forward to this election? Or
I'm going to be different from.
I want to look.
Both of the guests.
What I want to say is put aside.
Yeah.
Put aside everything. I'm just talking about 4th of July.
4th of July, the word you use, excitement, it's a responsibility and it's also exciting. The reason why I would agree with you, the word they use, excitement, because it's an opportunity came to us again for the second time. 2010, we had an opportunity. We missed it. And I will explain later in the show when it comes to it. We missed an opportunity, and that same opportunity.
No, we didn't miss an opportunity. 2010, we had our first British Bangladeshi elected MP. Doesn't matter who it was, but it was.
The reason why I would say the idea of residents was that they wanted an MP that lives locally, lives in the area, would understand the challenges that we face day to day. The MP, him or herself, will face the challenges every day. So fine. So we have an opportunity to bring a change. So what we've been saying for the last from 2010 that we have an MP, Bangladeshi MP, but MP do not live in our borough, do not live with us. And I would say from the groundwork that we now understand that she does not understand our value, the way we live, what the challenges that we have, challenges that we face every day. So it's an opportunity to bring the change and put an MP that will be from our community, from the real community, who has been serving in the community, will face the challenges that we face every day. So excitement is there. And the reason why I agreed with you, when you go out there, the campaigning that started, people are excited. Yes, there are other issues. There are sadness to it, but the word excitement should not be discarded.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's be clear here that 2010 was an opportunity for our British Bangladeshis to become involved in politics, mainstream politics, yeah, and we did. We had elected our first British Bangladeshi MP.
We probably elected the wrong.
That's probably. That's your view. That's your opinion.
Are you still in doubt,
right?
Whether that was the right decision?
That's guys. Listen. That's
probably.
That's your views. That's your opinion. We will come back to that later. But I think at that time, 14 years ago, it was exciting because it was an opportunity for us to get involved in mainstream politics. That's the reason I used the word excitement at that time. Okay, right. Okay, I think we've got a few people online. So again, like we said, unless we see your face, you turn your camera on, we cannot speak to you, and we won't be able to take you take your questions. So, do we have anyone on live?
No, I think there's someone there. Okay.
Hello? We need to see your face. Sorry. If you don't show your face, then we can't talk to you, unfortunately. Thank you. Okay. Let me ask my next question. Bethnal Green and Bow, which before, now Stepney. Nani, Bethnal and Stepney. This particular constituency, why are we so focused on it, or tell you energy the out of the constituency around the country? Why Bethnal Green and Stepney? Why? Mahbub, let me start with you. Why?
Okay, I think this is the heart of Thai Hamlets. I mean, Thai Hamlets is heart of all of us. If you talk about Bangladeshi community, we started from there. The first Bangladeshi MP was from Thai Hamlets. So Thai Hamlets means a lot to us. But then if you're asking why this particular seat, because the particular seat is where majority Muslim voters are. The particular seats where the current MP
Muslim
stands,
or Bangladeshi?
Bangladeshi and Muslims, I believe, yeah, if you look into the data. But what I would say, this is where the current MP also will stand from. Yeah. And why I focused on this is because the current MP that has failed us, especially with the ceasefire, where she did not vote for a ceasefire, that had upset many of our residents. Also, many of the residents are now coming out with it. She was never there. She doesn't understand how we think. She doesn't understand the value that we have.
Now let's not go there again. Okay. I'm just saying
why
this particular.
Because what I understand from the residents is it's time for change.
Okay.
And the change they want to start the change from that particular MP, and she happens to be standing from that seat.
Okay.
So that's why the focus is here.
Okay, thank you. Again, let me remind our viewers who are joining us online, unless you turn your camera on, we can see your face, we will take your question. Otherwise, we will not involve you in the show. So please, thank you. Shukur, sorry. Why is it so important, this particular state? I know you grew up in Brick Lane, yeah? Well, not just you, we all grew up in Brick Lane, yeah? So what this city, I mean, it means so much to us, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah? We take this so seriously.
Absolutely. It's the beating heart of our community. It is it doesn't matter where we go. I've been fortunate enough in life to travel quite a lot. I get to meet all sorts of people. But when I tell them I'm of Bangladeshi origin from the UK, when I talk about home, talk about community, the images that come to mind is always Brick Lane, Banglatown, Spitalfields, Bethnal Green Bow, Bethnal Green Stepney, as we now refer to it. So it's the beating heart of our community. And for us, that is where, if we trace back our umbilical cord, so to speak, as a community, our roots stem from this area. So for us, it's emotional. For us, it has a lot of emotional and sentimental value attached to it. And value being the operative word, because people identify themselves through their values. Common values, that's where the idea of common unity comes from. United through common values and objectives. So our common values come from that. And anybody who fails to understand, recognize the beating pulse of this community, the people, and the aspirations of the people, and let's call it what it is. Let's separate chalk from cheese. The current MP failed to translate or amplify our voices in Parliament. Rushnara Ali failed to do that. And for us, that is a betrayal of the highest order, because the people who voted you in told you to do one thing, you chose to do something else. That is essentially why, for us, this election is more than just an election. For us, this is a testament to our resolve and our determination to get our voices heard and to stop genocide being committed in our name.
Okay, so to that, I will say that the sitting MP in Bethnal Green, you said that she hasn't, come forward or she hasn't raised her concerns on our behalf. But there are other Muslim MPs who also haven't raised their voices or representing the Muslim community. Forget Muslim community, representing humanity. Yeah? So maybe we should be talking about every MP, not just one. We shouldn't single out any one a member of parliament, but we'll come back to that. Do you agree with what Shukur said, Khaled Bhai?
Well, I'm not specifically commenting about the Rushnara Ali's record because she is not my MP. It was my, it's not my right to say it because I haven't voted for her as an MP because I live in Red Bees. But what I want to say, that my understanding is that because as I said, the Shukur Bhai Sheikh rightly said that British Bangladeshi community has a special feelings and also touch with Red Bees, Tower Hamlet, because everything started from here. And if you give statistics about in 34% of British Bangladeshis in Tower Hamlet in terms of the whole population. And this is the highest concentration of British Bangladesh in the whole UK. Okay, we have now at the moment about 645,000 Bangladesh all over the UK, 1.1% of Bangladesh.
I've been hearing this for the last 25 years.
No, I'm coming. Okay. I'm just trying to say that, yes, I understand that some people are upset with her because of her position as an MP. And also what she has taken the position in terms of the Gaza and ceasefire resolutions and vote in parliament. And this is a practical issues and also serious emotional issue for the local residents. As an MP, it is responsibility, whether it is whatever the political party or independent, it is better for a particular MP or to consider seriously what the local community are thinking of, what is their emotional touches, what are the real concern of particular issues. And I think so Rushnara Ali in this case was not able to appreciate this particular concern and emotion of the local community. Second point I want to say that Rushnara Ali is not only just only MP as we're talking about, she is defining movement of MP when she was elected. At the time he was also a candidate as in 2010. Let me say very clearly, give statistics. At the time there were 4 Muslim and Bangladeshi candidates. Rushnara Ali was the first Bangladeshi Muslim MP candidate who stood from Bethnal Green and above. He was from Conservative. Azmal Mashroom was from Lib Dem and also was Afzal Mian.
Full respect.
She got the first time she elected with the 21,000 votes. He was a Conservative, he got the 7,000 votes. Okay, Afzal Mian got about 8,000. And this is the first time was Lib Dem got about 10,000 votes, 10,500 votes. And that was the statistics. But if you think about these things, what Rushnara Ali have done, within 4 consecutive elections, she won and then increased her majority to 20,000. In 2019, her voting share was 44,000. 2017, I'm coming.
Yeah, I think we're diverting from the question.
My answer would be like this. I want to say these things like this. Because this is something we need to appreciate these things. At the same time, we need to appreciate these things. Whether as an MP, she able to appreciate the community's feeling and sentiment, and that when the disconnection is there, and how we as a community members, or those that are aspiring to standing as a candidate, how they can value this history, and also how we can attach this our community's feeling, and whether it is realistically think about this, whether how we can realize this vision in collective and cohesive manner.
Okay, so
because if you put too many candidates there, I'm coming to this.
I don't want to go. I have to stop you. Let me
quickly say something.
No.
Please. That majority, I just want, for the record, that wasn't a Rushnara Ali majority. That was a Corbyn vote. Let's just be absolutely clear. She has historically retained around that 20,000 figure. I just wanted to put that out there.
Even 20,000. Even 20,000. That's a huge majority. That's a huge majority, Mahbub. So surely, whether I know we're talking about her in particular, we shouldn't be, because she's not here. No, she's not. No one here to represent her, right?
Right. Okay.
So we have to be fair. We have to be fair. Okay. Yes, please.
That's how we move on.
But the way I look at it is, if someone, regardless, if you say she's detached, she's not representing, she doesn't know what the community wants, then she still wins with 37,000 votes. That kind of
This is important.
So that goes back to that.
About this thing. This is
sorry, Mahbub. You're right. Khalid, wait. But it goes back to the first point. These are not exciting times. These are challenging times for us. We need to topple that majority, and we can. It goes back to the second question.
How are you going to topple it?
No, I'm coming to that. It goes back to the second question that you asked. Why is this seat so important? It's the beating heart of this community. With a majority like that, one of the largest concentration of the British Bangladesh diaspora in the whole of the UK residing in this area. And for us to tell you time and again, do something for us. For the first time in 14 years, we asked you to do something and you decided to abstain. It goes back to all of that.
So do you think...
It is a challenging period for us, but guess what? Here's the best thing. For the first time, you have given us a single agenda to unify under. So the challenge is to unify. The challenge isn't how we can get rid of her. To get rid of her is very easy. We don't need the data. We know what the facts are. You come from this community, I do too. We know what's going on out there.
Without unity,
my point is, absolutely, we'll come to unity.
We're going to come back to you. We're going to come to unity in a second.
So the point is, the data is not important. The fact that you ignored us, that's very important. You ignored us. You made a conscious choice to ignore us when we voted. Let's talk about the majority.
Shukr, you had your say. You had your say. Let Mahbub come in.
I agree, but then how do you replace her? How do you unseat her? The question is that unity is the most important thing that we have to agree.
Right.
Without unity, there's no success. You cannot go any further than this. Yes, we can scream all day, night, but we're not going to get anywhere unless we are united and understand exactly where we need to go from there. So now let's understand the unity and understand what the resident wants. It's not just go to a group of people and think that the whole community is there. The whole community is in each door. There are many people, many Sasasasiokolason, they're not coming out, but they are struggling. They have their views. They have their feelings and opinions that we need to reach out to. You cannot just go to some individuals and create a group of 10, 15 people and then call it, okay, this is the unity. This is the community. How many people do live in Thai hamlets or in that seat that we are questioning? So we need to see the need of it. Now, from the groundwork, I'm an activist. I don't call myself a leader. I call myself an activist that I face what everybody else says every day. My kids went to school here. I grew up here. This is it. This is my home. And Allah knows how long I live, and this is where I will depart from. This is what I live for. Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
And this is it. Yeah. So now we've got to understand what does the resident, what does the community wants now? It's an opportunity there, and I can tell you now from my experience, my understanding, that people want someone within the community. For the first time, they're saying, listen, we want someone that steps out of their door and they know the challenges that we face.
So I would like to, I beg to differ on that. I'll tell you why. It has always been the case that the people, the community wants somebody who can represent them, who understands them, understands the daily struggles. Whether
You're taking my time though, and I'll take your time.
No problem, no problem. So if we are talking about unity, then the first thing is, it goes back to what we were saying, mainstream politics is broken. Why would you put up people from the community, it's beyond me, that would go and put themselves forward through a mainstream party? Power should be handed back to the people that have been let down.
It is the people
we need to talk about a mechanism, a process by which people are empowered enough, enabled enough.
If you're trying to prove a point,
of course I'm trying to prove it.
Don't overtalk.
Can I just
taken my time?
Yeah, go on.
And I was very polite.
Yeah.
And so obviously, if I can have it back, then at least I can finish.
You can have my time.
No, brother.
Gentlemen, you have to listen to my instruction as well, please. Yeah. So don't overtalk each other. Come on, carry on.
Yeah, we're going to have a long-term vision, a sustainable vision. We had the experience where we had George Galloway. Yeah. So when you talk about 2010 and the success and the first British Bangladeshi MP, you would also give credit to George Galloway. Yeah. Who I do not share the same political platform anymore, but he was there. And one term, and he didn't sustain anymore because the independent or one-man show did not go any further. He served a purpose, and once the purpose was served, that did not go any further. He stopped there. So I would say when an opportunity comes, instead of having a short vision where just Ohan Dehram, let's think of the long vision, long term, where we can sustain, we can put a good grip on it, we can have a better control of it, and we can bring a good change in our community.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Let's go back to that point. I think it's a very important point. George Galloway. George Galloway, in my view, in my opinion, regardless of what party he represents or who he represents, is probably one of the sharpest politicians I've come across.
Your
Okay?
opinion.
Yeah, you can't argue with that.
No one can debate that. No one can. Now, someone like George Galloway, when he was elected for 4 years, 5 years, he, on his own, was unable to do anything for Bethlem Green and Bow. He was unable to do to deliver anything for us. Okay. Now, with someone with his stature, with his experience, his knowledge, couldn't deliver. What are we expecting from these candidates that we're putting up?
Independent candidates, they can't do much.
Yes, please.
I think so. This is a very important question. I just want to touch all of these things. The whole discussion should be focused on this point. As I started this, since the Gaza war, the amount of feelings and anger and frustration going on across the countries where there is a sizable Muslim majority, Muslim population, or the BME communities, or the mainstream communities, a portion of mainstream communities, those are love, justice, fairness, equality. What is really happening? There is a grassroots momentum of change going on across the countries. The number of platforms have been created and across the platform and countries, and also not only just Muslim, non-Muslim and other organizations. The number of MP candidates has been put forward by all around the countries, including in here and all the part of in Tower Hamlet, in Newham, in Barking, Dagenham, and also in Red Bees as well. I also part in Red Bees, some sort of movement as well. We try to put 2 independent candidates there. This is, I would say, an opportunity in here, because this is given an opportunity for local residents to change the dynamics of politics, to utilize their vote and soft power, because the election is casting a ballot, is utilizing a soft power, and tactically, if you're able to use it, you can change the political dynamics. I think that this dynamics now at the moment, especially Labour Party, really understand what is really happened about a few weeks ago about the local election. More than 200 councillors have been elected from the independent candidates. If you talk about the, I'm coming to
Local council and general.
No, I'm coming. No, it's important. It's important. No, I'm saying
you cannot compare. There's no comparison.
Let me
Local
finish.
council election, local councillors, and parliament is big difference.
Let me just finish my point. Okay?
It is a big
And let me finish.
Yes.
What I'm just saying that there is a movement has been created, and there is an opportunity. There's probably a number of independent MP with the moment now put forward themselves. A number of them will be elected. If number of them elected, then there is a possibility for them to form an independent platform. There is a possibility. There is a possibility. Understand. Let me finish. There is a possibility, and this possibility you need to utilize as a community. Because if we able
Why
to
don't
put
they form a party then?
Once
At the beginning.
No, let me finish. Once you put independent political members of people in the parliament, they have the opportunity to form a parliamentary group and the party. And by this way, there is a chance.
This is not an opportunity. You're talking about this is wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking.
Right. Mahbub, you tell me.
With the respect, sir, you know the way you're explaining, it's a wishful thinking. They come from different part of the country with complete different understanding and kind of different kind of backup behind them, the people. The desire, the wanting, what they need, yeah. So they come from different part of the country. They get elected independently, yeah? And you think your wishful thinking is then they go into the parliament in number of maybe 5, 6, or 7, and they're going to form a party. Then that is a long way. If you're going to think like that, the change will never happen. The change will only happen when you have a constructive thinking from the beginning, where you get the root as strong as possible. Not other than having wishful thinking, it will happen or it might happen. At this moment, where independents are not working, the coalition or that movement that you're referring to, correct me if I'm wrong, there are places where I came to know with my understanding that they are also allowing other mainstream party who were for the ceasefire, it could be Green, it could be Lib Dem, that if they have the best winning chance against Labour, because understand that movement, their first objective is to punish Labour for what they have done. They betrayed the people. So what they're trying to do is to punish Labour if an area where a Lib Dem or a Green is able to take that Labour candidate out, they're allowing that to happen. So that movement is not where it's concentrating on, correct me if I'm wrong, as my understanding is one particular thing. So what I would say, let's not have wishful thinking. A brother like you, and being in the community for so long, enough is enough. We have a new generation, right? New generation where we can plan it better. we can understand the need of the community. And if we have someone who comes with a better package, you got to understand we're using the Palestine issue. Yeah, imagine that didn't happen. What would have happened?
Are you talking about individual? Are you talking about a group of people or party?
No. What I'm talking about, we have to focus on a candidate. I'm not going to name a candidate. Like I said, I'm not going to promote a individual one. But we have to see a candidate comes with a package where understands the value of Palestine, has the Palestine in hand. I haven't come across, except for one candidate, the were questioning. Most of the candidates have the Palestine in their heart, right? So that's there. All maybe they show in a different way than one another. Then we have to see the package mean how do they understand the community? What have they served the community long enough to understand? Did that person actually build the trust with the community? Then the package is bigger and better.
Okay, thank you, Mahbub.
So a few things. You've got to bear with me now. Firstly, I disagree completely with everything Mahbub said, and I'll tell you why, and partially what you said.
Yeah.
So you gave a beautiful example. Somebody like an eloquent, flamboyant, well-experienced politician like George Galloway was unable to achieve much as an independent. Fine, granted, I accept. I so patiently sat and allowed you to finish. Sorry, it was a respect party. My apology. Through the Stop the War coalition.
Because I was part of respect.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, thank you for the correction. However, it was an independent party of. Okay, fine. Okay,
it was a registered.
It was a registered party before. But let's be honest, it really came from the grassroots. It came from the grassroots.
We said that to be the fourth political party in British history.
Okay. But it started off through a band of independents. Let's accept that. But anyway, that's not my main point. Let's not get hung up on that.
Your point.
So my point is, somebody like Galloway, you used the word he couldn't alone achieve anything.
Yeah.
So let's agree that he was acting alone.
Yeah.
He may have had a band of brothers and sisters in Parliament, fair enough, but he couldn't achieve much. Okay, that's fine. That's a fact. Let's accept that. And then what happened very quickly, we brought in the mainstream candidate, Rushnara Ali, made history again. We made history by first unseating Una King and replacing her, taking away what was until then dubbed a Labour safe seat historically. So then we did that, made history a second time by bringing in the first British Bangladeshi MP. And then the question which you put was, we've come to a point now where we've come back to a point.
Who was George Galloway's preferred candidate then in 2010?
Okay.
George Galloway, now that you mentioned his name, who was his
but I don't want to divert. Let me get my point across, please. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is then 14 years on, we've come back. We've done a full U-turn, right? We've come back exactly where we started when we first made history. We brought Galloway in on a protest vote because of the Iraq war. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So we brought him in because of the Iraq war protest vote. We got him in. And then we gradually, for whatever reasons, the mainstream party came back in. And guess what? The mainstream party has done exactly what it did back in 2003, 20 years on. She has sided with genocide. She's sided with a war that we have clearly said we don't want to support, and you've ignored that. So the fundamental thing in all of this is the mainstream parties, a leopard never changes its spots. Labour has a track record for letting us down at the most crucial moment. And we have a track record of trying to do things in protest, and then the energy sort of dies out eventually. So the difference in this time round is we have to ask ourselves, what do we then do once we respond through a protest vote, get them in, and then what's the longevity, the long-term strategy? Nobody's talking about the long-term at the moment. There was some thinking. I've been part of certain consortiums or from the left where there's been some partial thinking. However, we couldn't even get to that stage because of the snap election. But the point is,
Sometimes snap election is good, though, isn't it?
No, because you're not ready.
It's better, isn't it?
No, but it is what it is. I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad. I think everybody prefers to have the luxury of pre-planning. So we've not had that luxury where we were planning and then it kind of pulled the rug.
Okay, sure, but let me ask you something.
So let me get to my point. Please, no, please bear with me. I allowed you to know. You went off on a carousel and I patiently sat and listened. So you'll have to allow me.
Gentlemen, remember the name of the show. No nonsense.
No nonsense. So
okay.
you know what? I'm not here to take nonsense.
Stick to the point.
I'm not here to take nonsense. I'll tell it as is.
Stick to the point.
Okay. So the point is, long-term strategy is required. But one thing we can all agree that we've learned: the mainstream parties fail us again and again because of the hierarchy of the organizations. This time around, we're saying a top-down approach doesn't work. Let's take a bottom-up approach and let's start thinking about long-term. So let's have an immediate-term goal, short, mid, and long-term goal. Don't just think protest and then that's it. Let's get sharp. Let's get focused. And there is enough intellect within the communities to be able to plan ahead.
We have someone on live. Let's see. Hello? Assalamu alaikum.
Oh dear. He doesn't know he's online.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear us? Oh, here's what
I can take it back.
Here's ice cream, wasn't he? At this time of night. Anyway.
Yeah, can I just come back to you? You raised say about the wishful thing. I want to say something like this matter. That anything, whether it in a community organization, social organization, political movement.
I'm just saying you have to be realistic. Be practical.
Let Mahubai, please.
Be practical.
Okay.
No, let me just. We're going to get 20, 25 independent candidates.
Let me say it then. Let me phrase it. Okay, let me formulate it. Anything start with some sort of initiative. Something starts something somewhere. Any kinds of movement, whether political, community, or social organization, start something somewhere. And starting, there is some sort of feelings, underlying feelings, whatever, a need there. There is a need and underlying feeling within the community. Community feel there's some sort of organization should be independent movement and grassroots movement should be there necessary. Because of this, the politicians fail us on certain issues that is people are talking about.
Which community are you talking about?
We're talking about all communities.
Are you talking about community in Thailand?
No, we're talking about the Tawhid Muslim community, Bengali community, Asian community, other community, mainstream community. As I said, that those.
Let's talk about the topic we're here. We're talking about Thailand, we're talking about Bethangri and Stepney.
Let's not around that.
Tell me, where's the unity?
Okay.
Where's the unity in the community?
The problem is that unity is a very difficult one to define.
We can talk here all night. We need to be united. We need to bring everyone together.
I think so.
But we're not united. We're not united. We cannot. I don't think we can select
I think so.
the MP. No, the reason I'm not allowing you is because you have to explain to me where is the unity.
Let me explain these things. I haven't finished it yet. So there's some sort of movement started, and allow this movement to continue, because nothing achieved in overnight. It should be something start. Mahubai, please. Okay.
No one's stopping the unity. Okay. I mean,
this movement should go. But one problem is there. I'm coming back again to this point. That emotion doesn't really help in politics. It should be some sort of policy-led, strategy-led, and long-term vision. The problem is in here that if anyone...
Now you're contradicting yourself.
No.
You just contradicted yourself.
No, I'm not contradicting. I'm not contradicting.
You just said emotion shouldn't come in.
I'm saying that.
I haven't said anything for
one second. Sorry.
Okay, if you say everything, emotion is sometimes necessary. But if you like independent candidate, those are willing to come forward, to put forward themselves as a candidate. It's if there's some sort of people that think that there is an opportunity, there is an emotional base, and people are feeling these things.
Right.
And I think so in this, there is some strategy needed, because we need to see that whoever is the best candidate, who can unite the community, who can make these communities feeling hard effectively and make a challenge.
Okay.
But if you're able to do these things across the countries, and those are standing the independent in all over the country, they need to make a decision among themselves. They find a common ground. They need to find a common ground.
Absolutely.
This is the important. If they want to find a common ground, then unity will be there. Otherwise, without...
your courtroom, so choose now.
Khaled bhai, I just want to remind you, what you just said, this has been tried before. You mentioned George Galloway. The idea, the movement wanted a fourth political party to be established in the British history called Respect. And we had few MP candidates. Salma Yaqub was one of them. Abdul Mir. That was wishful thinking. Okay. But that time, people were, the way you're expressing that wishful thinking in the best way as possible. Exactly.
Why can I saying the independent candidate?
I instructed. So it didn't work. And within one term, George Galloway was nowhere to be seen. and he's gone, and there was an opportunity to come. I don't want to go any further than this. So I would say, okay, fine. We have a situation here, and we have a political party, a mainstream political party that we can pick. Okay, we want to punish Labour, but imagine if Corbyn was the leader of Labour Party. I don't think he would be sitting here. I don't think he would be sitting here.
I don't think there's opportunity. There'd be no genocide. There'd be no genocide in Gaza.
So the right leader, hang on, I agree.
I'm sorry, but that's
hang on, can I finish?
Let me finish.
So having the right leader, that same political party that you're not questioning, it's fine. You're saying, then this would have happened. So having the right leader in place can make the differences. So having the mainstream party with the right people in it is the way forward. Now, Lib Dem, for example, or Green. I'm not going to particularly promote anything. Okay, listen. You could do whatever you like. But if you don't allow me to speak, so what I'm saying is now we want to bring a change. We see what the best vehicle we have. We see what the best way to move forward. Like I said, okay, fine. If you have the wishful thinking of independent candidate, there are 1 or 2 places where independent candidate might be able to punish Labour. But there are places and areas that you need to identify and accept and understand that only a mainstream political party can do that. Now, I want to ask you a question. When was the last time one solely independent MP candidate actually was elected in British history?
Can I go first?
Please.
Okay. The last time Lib Dems were anywhere near.
No, I'm not.
Hold on. No, I'm answering your question. The last time Lib Dem, you know what Lib Dem into this? You should have brought Lib Dem. We were talking about Labour. You brought Lib Dem in. You brought Lib Dem in. So let me tell you, Lib Dem, they have a habit of lying, cheating people, going against their own policies.
I'm not representing.
They sold their entire leftist centralist
Then I have to go.
You brought Lib Dem in. Don't bring Lib Dem in.
I also said Green.
No, but I'll tell you what. The last time Lib Dem let us down badly.
You cannot bring it was a general vote. And as a community,
you're coming into this party. I can't be talking in a party that
I said, if there's another option.
No, you're being biased. I will say you're being biased. You're being biased. You've got Lib Dems. The reality is mainstream parties have failed. No, the reality is mainstream parties have failed.
If it keeps on carrying on, because I'm not here to represent anyone.
No. You shouldn't have brought Lib Dem into the
You're not here to represent, but you mentioned the name.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. No, but you did mention the name. You did.
Let's close the chapter.
You should. You shouldn't have mentioned the name. Okay, so you should accept that. Okay. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Now, my next question to you, brothers, is: so imagine we elected a pro-Palestinian MP. Imagine,
it's going to be a reality, inshallah.
Inshallah, okay. But just imagine for now, we have. Now, again, I'm going back to my same question again. This individual that we've elected who's pro-Palestine, whether it's from a mainstream party, independent, doesn't matter, yeah? What support would they receive from their party? What support would they receive if they're independent from other MPs in the parliament? Especially as we know, there's very little support for this cause in Parliament at the moment, whether it's Labour, whether it's Tories, whatever party, yeah? So Brilliant. Please explain to me, Yes,
let me go. It's a wonderful question because that, in fact, quashes all the other theories and arguments about the mainstream. Because I think if I read somewhere once, to expect that by doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result is foolish. Expecting the mainstream to sort out our problems when the mainstream have put us in this problem in the first place is foolish. So we need different set of results. Fantastic question.
Okay.
What can you do when we know there is very little support? This is where emotion, protest, and emotion we cannot write off because all great ideas start from a single spark. Okay? So a spark has been created. There is momentum driven by passion to establish justice, starting with justice for the people of Palestine. From the place where the problem began, here in the UK, the Balfour Declaration, it's this government that created the problem of Palestine. So we have, not only is it a moral obligation on us, it is a democratic duty for us to try set the record straight. And what I mean by that, now coming to your point, if there is clearly resistance in Parliament to debate fairly about the Palestinian issue, if we can get enough independent candidates in up and down the country, they can amplify that voice all the way from Whitechapel to the corridors of Westminster. And if we make enough noise, they have to listen. And if they don't listen, we've broken their back through this protest vote.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're through emotion, if there is enough intellectual thinking and rationalize, you don't need to rationalize genocide. They are trying to rationalize genocide. We don't need to rationalize what is wrong. What is wrong is wrong. Nobody needs to reason with that. They are trying to turn things on its head. The students are fed up now. Who do you think is the future? The students. The students are the future of our country, our society. That spark has been created. It's come from protest. The mainstream parties have always sold us.
So the protest, demonstration is far more impactful.
Until we get them into Parliament.
Okay.
Once we get them into Parliament, a serious concerted thinking needs to happen in terms of how we get this through. If, for example, now you've got enough MPs, independent, you can table a motion. You can table a motion. You can create, you can block things. You may not be able to pass things through. You can create enough noise to try and attract the right levels of attention. More importantly, when Keir Starmer said Israel has the right to cut off electricity, food, etc., etc., allow me to finish, please, because it is based on emotion. When Keir Starmer clearly said that, that was the point at which we all realized enough is enough. That's the point at which I said, I'm ready to give you a bloody nose at the ballot box. That's the point at which I said, we need to do something.
Okay.
If nothing else,
stop there.
If nothing else, get rid of them. If nothing else, get rid of them. That would be a milestone.
Let me stop.
Get rid of Labour.
Abdul Shakur, let me stop you there, because I want to come back to this point. Yeah. Emotion, frustration, anger, everything. Yeah, since we're all in the same field. I'm not sure what you're feeling as it. Now, to give the bloody nose, to me the phrase for you saw, to the Labour Party or the Tories, whatever, yeah? Tell me, guys, if the ultimate aim is to deselect the sitting MP, yeah? If that's the aim. Ouster, whatever, yeah?
Unseat.
Right? Unseat us, whatever. How are we going to do this if we're going back to the same old strategy? I don't even see the strategy of that. I mean,
history repeating itself.
We're repeating. We are not actually.
And same people are responsible.
We're actually giving the current MP an easier pathway to Parliament again, because we are putting up too many candidates.
Okay, so shall we talk about that? So let's talk about some practical stuff.
How are we going to?
Can we talk about naming them?
Without naming a candidate. Let's talk about without naming them.
Let me answer this question. I want to answer this and raise this point. I said number of
I read there's about 7 candidates already.
So already
I'm not naming anyone.
Can we allow take control of it and allow who to speak so that
go on.
Mahumba, when you talk, please allow us to speak and then
thank you, Mahumba. Thank you. I second that.
I think so. This is the practical issues. Zakir Bhai, 3 things I will say. One thing that you mentioned about the support. Yes, those are standing as an independent candidate. They have a grassroots community support. Because until you unite the grassroots communities, they are the backbone of politics in the local level. Because we grassroots level, me and you, everyone who is individual, and as a community member and voter, everyone has an equal franchise. And those community members united, if they're able to unite themselves for a particular cause.
But those candidates were standing for the mainstream party. They also local people.
No, I'm just coming to your point, because I said first point is the community. Second point is that the support. The support is...
You're hiding his face.
Okay. Support is coming for different levels. It's not like it's a one-dimensional. It's a different dimensional. Multi-dimensional things. Third point is that very important point you raised. I want to answer this question, and I'm also a bit critical as well. If you put a number of candidates in particular seats, where there is only 76,000 electorates, there is a 37 or 35,000 majority. There's an established MP with the 4 consecutive terms of electing. If you want to challenge her, you need to find an individual candidate. And this individual candidate should be united the community in a particular goal and objectives. And the one point is important here. It's not only just Tawaham, that is everywhere is happening. I am part of these things. I understanding my Red Bees as well, situation as well. I think so. There should.
I'm not interested in Red Bees.
No. I'm thinking that this is that. No. this is important that those are individual candidate, independent candidate, think you're aspiring. It's a good opportunity and good idea that there's a political aspiration. There's some leadership there. But they need to make some pragmatic decision for the best interest of our communities.
Thank you.
Because they need to sit down among themselves, find among themselves who is the best, who has the capacity to run, and who will be able to unite the community. Not for the one term, one particular issue.
Long term.
That should be long term. Because it's not the emotional just level of Gaza issue.
Yeah.
This is the issue, number of issues like NHS, police crime, housing, deprivation, poverty. All these things is real issues.
Yeah.
And MP has to make a decision. And people are not really happy with what is really happening at the moment in mainstream politics. Nobody is conservative or Labour Party.
Okay, thank you.
Let's talk about unity, please.
I think Mahmoud, he's been quiet for a while.
That's good one.
Surprising.
Come on,
Thank you. Now, alhamdulillah. Okay, now unity will come when you understand the majority. We understand the real issues instead of just going with emotion and putting one particular subject on the forefront. Of course, Gaza, Palestine is in our heart.
I don't think that was your question.
No.
It was about
What I'm saying, yes, I didn't distract you. I didn't distract you.
No, we're not talking about unity now.
Okay, we're talking about
putting up too many candidates.
Unity will come here. Unity will come now. We have to understand the need of the residents. What do they want? The majority. Once you identify what they want, then unity comes.
How do you identify that?
How do you identify?
How?
On the groundwork, when you've been an activist for like a decade, since 1992 to now, when you're already in the field.
And how successful have you been?
So, I mean, I've been part of the major changes that you just referred to, starting with George Galloway. I was part of that team because there was a reason for it, there was a cause for it, and I was an activist. I've always been a protest activist, right? So I became very vocal. Since then, I started, and then it came to many changes in time that I'm not going to name one by one. And then we also have a current elected executive mayor also had to go through a process. There was a moment that it was created, a movement was there. I was also part of it. Yeah. So unity comes when we all unite under one banner and we understand the need of the majority. So now to understand the need of the majority, we have to see which candidate can serve the residents better or understand the residents better, who can be at the doorstep, who could be accessible at any time or easy access to, who has the proven record of serving the community. So if you identify this, once you identify that candidate, then you can unite the people will agree. If you just try and put
okay, stop. I'm not look, like I said, I'm not here to undermine any candidate. I'm not here to belittle any candidate. But my response to you, Mahbub, is we're talking about an individual, a candidate who stood many times.
No, I didn't name anyone.
I'm telling you.
I don't know who you're talking about.
We know. We're not naming anyone.
You cannot guess anyone.
Right?
But we know who you're referring to.
I'm talking about the 7 candidates that I know who have named.
Without naming them.
Yeah, without naming them. So what I'm saying is, Mahbub keep on saying a local candidate who knows the community, who understands the community.
So
these are local people from each person is local, right? So that doesn't make a difference.
Come to this now because I don't want to miss the opportunity to.
We're running out of time. So unity. Let's talk about unity, please. How do we come to unity?
My response is about this subject. I'll tell you why. Because that is a hotly debated issue at the moment. Lots of independent candidates. We're not going to talk about mainstream candidates because mainstream candidates are an imposition on the community. Behind closed doors, handful of members select, they then declare and say, that's our candidate, back him or her. We've had enough of that, those impositions. So likewise, we are seeing a situation where even with independents, some very, very good, talented independents have come forward, but they've presented themselves to all of us. And they've said, vote for me. And that's where the problem is. So the solution is you have to find a process by which the community takes ownership from selection all the way to election. Ownership back to the community rather than an imposition by me coming along saying, here's my wonderful resume, CV, please vote for me. So when there are too many independent candidates, one of the solutions is we've got to find a platform or a mechanism by which all the independents can submit an application and through trusted reliable, outstanding members of the community. They can put them through a shortlisting process from long list, short list, and then put them to a hustings. And we have and I'm telling you, we have a real situation. No, I'm talking about real. Hold on.
Something that you found it.
We have a real situation here.
No,
we have a real situation here. Yes, we founded something, but our process is we founded something, and there is a problem here.
Okay,
there is a problem. We've got too many problems. I'm going to talk about this.
You founded something.
Yes, so
but that hasn't solved the problem.
So I'm talking about that. Let me talk about that. I look at you laughing now, smiling. That's brilliant.
Okay.
You were hiding that when we were talking about the anyway.
Let me answer this.
Yes, so yes, we've created a process where, okay, we've now got 2 or 3 candidates. Actually, for this seat, there are 2 key candidates.
Okay.
And I can safely say, we are tirelessly working behind the scenes. We are having conversations to find a solution to this. We will have 1 candidate. We will. And both the candidates are determined to ensure for the betterment of this community that we declare 1 candidate.
Have you created a unity? That's my question.
It's coming. It doesn't. Listen, Rome wasn't built in 1 day.
Of course
the Quran was revealed over how many years? Thank you.
So how many years are we going to wait for?
No, you're not going to. Few days.
After the election.
You would love that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So why did you put up a mainstream candidate from the community?
I'm not here to, like I said, I'm here on a personal capacity.
Yeah.
Keep it there.
We're running out of time, gentlemen. So I need to finish on the unity. Yeah. This is what we need to finish today.
I want to say this on this. Unity is very important, and also it's really crucial in this regard, because if you want to make any change or win any election, any kinds of battle, those are fighting for the cause, there should be a strong unity. But it is very difficult to find the unity when there is a conflict of interest there. So I need to find out that those conflict of interest among them, those are issues who has the majority of the community member filled, and also consider this is very important for themselves. Not only because of the issue they like it, issue for not themselves, but wider communities, because the issue that people are talking about, not only the Gaza issues, talking about the deprivation, housing, and other issues, all that community affecting. Now, I think so that this is the very serious, difficult issue for us to, those are taking this initiative, including myself, or those are taking the initiative. Then they take serious effort among themselves, build the trust among themselves, building the community's feelings together, and also work on it, build on a gradual basis. You cannot build, because as I mentioned before, when there is a conflict of interest, it is very difficult sometimes to find a common ground. But everyone needs to think about seriously, what is the best interest for the community in the long run? Because you cannot solve all the problem in the short term. Movement and momentum has been created. The feelings is there.
In our community,
but we need to think about long term.
Let's be realistic. Let's be practical. In our community, even in the mosque, we have different groups, different divisions. Forget going anywhere. The place of worship, Sai Fasta group is in, committee is in, and we're talking about unity in a political scenario. Come on. Let's be serious.
Zakir bhai, fine. But there are good examples of unity in our community. It happened let's bring that up. In terms of George Galloway, there was a unity, and we were able to take Una King out. There was unity, and it was visible. There was a time where we wanted the Yes for Mayor to be in place. There was unity, it was visible, right? Now we're coming to this, right? In five weeks' time, we have the election, and some group are claiming that they are creating unity or unity coalition or community coalition. The visibility is in there. That thing that we've seen in the past, that majority people coming out, people from all community, all side of the Thai hamlets came together in one platform, in one stage, and they shared their view. That didn't happen. Now, at this moment, we don't have time. And our main objective is to unseat the current MP. If that's the case, let's put your hands on the heart, right? See whichever the candidate. I'm not naming anyone, so please do not just guess anyone, whoever the candidate. I'm here on a personal capacity. So I'm saying the candidate who is ready can show the maximum unity, or can show the majority that are backing the person, then at least that person has the right or has the chance to unseat Usnara. Then one thing you have achieved. If you miss the opportunity, then what happens? You lose. The community is losing for another maybe a decade. So I would. My humble request is, if you're going to use the word unity, let's be fair. Let's do just. Let's understand. Let's face the truth and the reality. The unity will happen. Unity comes through honesty, sincerity, and when your heart in the right place, with selflessness.
So
thank you.
One of the fantastic things that's happened is we are learning. We are all learning. We've never been in this space before, and we're trying to regulate a very difficult space. Let's accept that. And conflicting interests, various ideas, lots and lots of talent. But one thing is for sure, everyone is united in our pursuit to unseat Rushnara Ali. So that is sufficient for us to try and come to some sort of an understanding. There are ongoing conversations and discussions, and it will happen. I believe hand on heart. We've not taken any unilateral decisions. We are listening very closely. We had an event yesterday, and we have learned so much from this. And all parties are talking for the first time. So something will happen. I am confident, inshallah, for the betterment of our community.
Now that you mentioned the event,
Gentlemen,
thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Mahbub bhai.
Thank you so much. I think, for the first show, it was quite.
Is it gone?
Huh? No, we're gonna be off here very soon. I just want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining me tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Well, not enjoyed the show. Took lessons from this discussion, and also I think it's important that we want to hear from you. So next time we come on this show, we want to hear your views, your concerns, your expectations of your next MP. Please. Today we could not actually get people online because people are not showing their faces, and we said it very clearly. We need to see who you are when you speak to us. So if you do want to join in, if you do want to share, we need to please turn on your camera and speak to us. Otherwise, we cannot entertain you. Okay, so gentlemen, once again, thank you so much. I think I've learned a lot today from your discussions, and I think, yes, let's finish on this unity. It's important for our community. If we can all work together, if we can all understand what is the best for our community, then I'm sure one day that unity will come, inshallah. So with this, I'd like to say goodbye. And I again want to thank my guests for joining me today. I'm sure this is not the last time they're going to be here. They're going to be here many, many more times leading up to the elections. We decided that we are going to continue this discussion every week until the election, and the discussions are going to get more fruitier and more healthier than today. I try to not get too much involved in individual candidates and then naming them and their parties, but we will do next shows. This is what it's all about. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you for watching No Nonsense, although some of these guys were speaking some nonsense today. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.